After having driven the new Audi Q6 and SQ6 E-Tron on multiple occasions this year, I finally have a press car on loan to test on Norwegian roads. So in the upcoming week, I'm gonna do my full suites of tests here on the channel. But today's video is all about getting that maximum range out of this new Audi SQ6 E-Tron. So today, we're gonna find out how far this car can go on a full charger battery at motorway speeds. But unfortunately, I had a little bit of audio issues with my microphone in this video, which I have tried to edit out, but there are some parts of the video where the audio isn't up to normal quality. So I do apologize for that, but I hope you guys still enjoy the video. So without further ado, let's just jump into this test and find out the results. On September 15th, we are doing a giveaway to celebrate 50,000 subscribers here on the channel. In collaboration with Zaptec and then partnering up with Polestar as Polestar's recommended home charger, we are giving away 2 Zaptec GO home chargers. To enter, simply subscribe to this channel and comment down below, "I want a Zaptec GO home charger." Thanks Zaptec for sponsoring this video. Finally, we have the brand new Audi SQ6 E-Tron on Norwegian roads for almost a whole week of testing. So guys, the next upcoming videos are gonna be awesome. I'm gonna do this, the range test, we're gonna do a long trip test, we're gonna do a full review, and I'm also gonna do a deep dive into this new MMI Panorama infotainment system, which this is the first car to feature an Android-based infotainment system. I've been very lucky. I've been able to test this car on multiple occasions. I went to Munich. I got to test drive a prototype. I also went to the International Press Drive in Bilbao about a month ago. But I've had very limited time with the car because all of these events are so packed, and yeah, there's limited time with the car for doing videos, and I haven't been able to feature this infotainment system in the way I want to. But I can say right off the bat, I'm really liking, the new setup here with the increased real estate, especially the infotainment system here. Before, with the old infotainment system, we had a 10.9-inch screen, which was really nice when that infotainment system debuted back in like 2017, 2018. But this new one with a 14.1-inch screen is a lot better. There's a lot more real estate. It's not fiddly to use. There's a lot of room for icons and functionality. But we're gonna get back to that later in this week and in a different video. Today is all about the range test. And I have to say, after about half an hour on the road, the consumption isn't very promising. 25.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers is high, especially considering the conditions. It's about 21 to 22 degrees Celsius, and we have cloudy skies. So this is, the best conditions for getting the most out of an electric car, because the temperature between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius is optimal for getting that maximum battery efficiency. And also, the temperatures being nice without the sun shining, we don't have to run the HVAC or the AC hard. Also, dry roads and a crosswind of about 1 meter per second from the west. So perfect conditions. These are pretty much the same conditions we had with the Tesla Model 3 long-range dual-motor Highland a few weeks ago, and we got great range out of this car. So I'm hoping there's something else there with the weather. Maybe we have a slight headwind, which is giving us, that high-ish consumption. But that's why we're going to do a whole test over almost 2 hours and more than almost 200 kilometers to see how far we can go. But other than that, this is a very, very nice car to drive. After just 100 meters behind the wheel, this is just a very accomplished platform. It is a nice upgrade over the Q8 driving wise, though there is more road noise, tire noise especially, in this than its bigger brother, which is to be expected, but I was just hoping it would be closer match. There's just a little bit of tire roar in the faint distance, but that may also be due to these Goodyear Eagle F1 tires, which, in my experience, aren't the most quiet. But it's not bad. It's a really quiet and comfortable car to drive. The cabin is airy, the seats are comfortable. It's just a very relaxing and luxurious experience. The way the adaptive cruise control with auto steer in this car works so seamlessly and smooth. It's so smooth to, change lanes. It's so smooth when they're is a car that pulls up in front of you, or it has to accelerate or to brake, or you just want to, you know, correct the steering, or you just want to steer a little bit. It's one of the smoothest integrations between the way the car drives and wants to steer automatically and the driver I've experienced in any car. It is so smooth and nice to use and intuitive. Yeah, I just had to get that out, guys. I'm going to talk about that more in my review later, but yeah. So 23.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers is our average consumption after we've now reached halfway. So we've now exited the motorway and we've now, entering the on-ramp to go back south, back towards Oslo. So we have about an hour left on this trip before we are back where we started, and the consumption coming down to, that number is promising. So let's hope that it will stay that way, or maybe even drop as we, you know, get back to where we started. Okay, we are exiting here, next to a charger here, and see what charging speed we get after just driving on the road for a few hours, no preconditioning, no planning to go to a charger, just testing out the battery passively. We do active preheating where we, you know, navigate to a charger and let the car do preheating if the car has preheating. We do that in the long trip test, so wait out for that. But in this video, it's all about just, you know, getting the maximum range out of a car, and that means just driving without demanding any more from the battery, like preconditioning. I don't think we would have, you know, because of the temperature, we would have actually needed to use any energy to actually preheat the battery. If some, not a lot probably. So we're gonna go back to the Ionity chargers here. So I'm hoping that these work, because there was a problem here earlier with the chargers here where it didn't want to communicate with the car. So let's hop over here. I'm just going to stop here, and then guys, I'm going to show you the actual consumption has actually dropped considerably. Look at that, 20, oh come on, no, yeah, I don't need that message. 23.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is a lot better than at our first update. Okay, so we've now connected to the charger. And when I was here earlier today, there was a problem with these chargers, and I called the hotline, the customer services for Ionity, and they said, yeah, there was an issue here, like when I was here earlier. But let's see if we're gonna get, if we're gonna be able to charge here at all, because there was, okay, that is great. That is much better than there was before. There was actually an issue before. So we connected at 34% state of charge, and I'm not sure what the charge curve looks like, so I'm not sure we're gonna get close to that 270 kilowatts of peak charging speed, but you can see that it is climbing considerably, 185, 87, that's not bad. That is actually pretty decent. 35% state of charge, no preconditioning of the battery. I think this battery probably should be at around 30 degrees Celsius to get that optimal charging speed, like with the Porsche Taycan. But there is no, temperature gauge or readout for the battery temperature with this car, so we may actually not be at 30 degrees Celsius. But yeah, or we may not get 270 at 36% state of charge. But I think if we look at something like the Porsche Taycan, we should get like closer to between 200 and 250 if the battery was up to temperature. But again, I'm not familiar with the charging curve of this car. It may be different, or we may just not be at the optimal temperature after just a few hours on the road and at 37% state of charge. Look who I found, guys. It's Bjørn.
Yo, what's up?
This is so funny. So we're actually testing almost the same car. What car are you testing, Bjørn?
This is the Q6 Quattro.
Yeah, so he's doing the Q6, I'm doing the SQ6. And I think he actually got even better results than mine. So if you don't know who Bjørn is, Tesla Bjørn Nyland, I'm gonna link his channel in the description box down below. Because other than me, I think he's the guy who makes the best EV content on YouTube, and he just churns out videos after videos. I think you test like 3 times as many cars as I do.
Yeah.
You never sleep, you never eat.
No.
You're the EV robot.
Yeah.
No, so if you want to check out Bjørn's results, which were really good, right?
Yeah.
Impressive, right?
Really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you think that? What do you think this is like to drive? You think it's good or?
Well, it doesn't have the same comfort level as the fat E-Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it lacks a little bit, but it's still way better than the Q4 E-Tron.
Yeah.
So because it's more efficient, it charges like a boss, then it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. Now let's take a look at the results. So if we take the usable battery capacity of this car, which is 94.9 kilowatt hours, we divide it by the consumption, 23.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and then subtract 3% for heat loss and charging losses. That gives us a theoretical range under today's conditions of 395 kilometers. And considering the size of this vehicle, considering the performance of this vehicle, and the speeds we drove at today, 120 kilometers an hour or 75 miles an hour, I think that is actually pretty good for being real world results. You're gonna expect, getting almost 400 kilometers driving on the motorway at, motorway speeds. I think that is pretty good. And that combined with the fast charging speed, I think we have, a winner for long traveling, long trips. This is a very good family vehicle for that. But the results aren't just as straightforward as that, because when you compare that to the WLTP rated range of this car, which is 598 kilometers, we're only about at 66% of its WLTP rated range. And I think that is very disappointing for being an Audi, because if we look at all my other range tests I've done with the Q8 e-tron, the Q8 e-tron before it got a facelift, the e-tron GT, these vehicles usually get close to 75, in some cases 80% of their WLTP rated range. And even if we look at this bigger brother, the Q8 e-tron 55 Quattro, which of course doesn't have the same performance as this, but is a larger vehicle and it has a bigger battery, but its WLTP rated range is only 492 kilometers, the car I tested last year, and we got almost the same range as this car, 392 kilometers, and that was done in hotter weather with bigger wheels. And I'm pretty sure if we got, like the car Bjørn has tested, the e-tron Quattro, the S version, and we compare it to a Q8 e-tron 55 on similar sized wheels, I'm pretty sure that Q8 e-tron may get a little bit more range in the real world at 120 kilometers an hour. Sorry guys, but for the rest of the video I was having real bad audio issues where there were just a lot of unpleasant sounds coming from my microphone. I think the connector to my receiver wasn't properly connected, and it was just, the audio is just botched for the rest of the video. But what I'm trying to convey here is that if you want the Audi SUV with the most range on the motorway at this speed, the Q8 e-tron 55 is actually a better choice, because you're going to get a little bit more range, as I showed here. I wrongfully said in the video that you're going to get a little bit less range, but hopefully you guys caught that. I corrected myself, getting 397 kilometers of range. Of course, you're not going to get that fast charging speed as you will with the SQ6 and the Q6 e-tron, which will be very apparent in my long trip test, which is the next video, where the audio should be fixed again. But if you want a good deal and you want a larger, more luxurious and comfortable and quiet SUV that actually has a little bit more range, and I think you can get for a better price than the Q6 e-tron and SQ6 e-tron, the Q8 e-tron 55 is still a very relevant car. But either way, I think these are good results. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think these are good results or bad results? I'm curious to know. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.